following their improbable comeback win on Saturday, the Cardinals lay a huge egg on national television and dropped 3 of 4 against the Cubbies.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm J.D. Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor born and raised in the Lou and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter, X at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. Want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Make sure you stop on by and pick up our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available all over the place, including on YouTube. If you want the visual aspects of this show, you can find us on YouTube as well. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are posted, because this is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as playoffs wind down. The sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So before we get back to tearing into the guys after this weekend series in Chicago, which did not go well, I do want to take you back to Saturday's game, the only one that the Cardinals actually won in the series. And, they were very lucky to get that W, considering how things were looking when the 8th inning began. But at least it's a happy thought. And there just wasn't a whole lot of those to go around this weekend at Wrigley Field in Chicago over the past 4 days. So let's go ahead and reminisce. For those of you who remember Wayne's World, Let's go back. Cardinals, imagine it, rocking their victory blues on Saturday. Beautiful, beautiful uniforms. Kyle Gibson is on the mound, and after blowing game 1 and losing game 2 pretty convincingly, you were hoping that Gibson could calm things down a little bit, settle everyone down, and give you one of those games that he's been able to give you most of the year. Kyle Gibson's not a perfect pitcher by any means, but there's not a lot of games where he just gets his butt kicked, right? Like, he's usually got you in the game for the most part. You know, he was coming into this one 7-4, had a 3.97 ERA, very respectable numbers. Not a superstar, but respectable. Also threw 7 innings of shutout ball against the Cubs earlier this year on June 14th, but he also had a bad game against them where he gave up 4 earned on 10 hits in 4 innings, most recently on July the 13th. So Cardinals get the lead early. Alec Burleson yanks a solo shot into the basket in the first inning. It actually goes in the basket and then bounces out of the basket. And at first the umps were like, nope, that's a double. And I don't know, how do you miss that? How do you miss it where we actually even have to worry about a replay? Like, how does that happen? I have no explanation for that, but they turned it around rather quickly. They reversed it, so no harm. But it's just bizarre to me that they missed that call from the beginning. So it's 1-0 Birds, which is good. But in the bottom half, Gibson coughs up the lead like right away. He walks the leadoff hitter, which was Ian Happ, who actually didn't do all that much against the Cardinals in this series, shockingly. A lot of other people did, but then it was Michael Busch again who ended up going yard following that leadoff walk. Cardinals are down 2-1. So Cubs get 2 more in the second when P. Crow Armstrong, or PCA, as they call him, he triples in Nico Horner and then scores on a sac bunt by Miguel Amaya, a name who tortured the Cardinals again on Sunday. And you're looking up and it's 4-1 all of a sudden. And now I'm just concerned and hoping that Gibson can give the team a couple of extra innings, because you're already down 4-1 and you don't want to destroy the entire bullpen for this game and next game. They don't have a day off on Monday because they got to do the makeup game with the Mets. So, that's where I'm starting to get nervous. I'm like, oh no, can't go down this path. And Gibson settles in. He did kind of what Eric Fetty did in Friday's game. Gibson settles in. He throws a nice game after that. From the 3rd through the 7th, Kyle Gibson allowed just 2 hits and retired 17 of 19 batters after that triple by PCA. That's what it is, right? PCA. Anyway, so I don't know what the hang-up is early on in games. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's nerves. Are they just trying to get comfortable with the mound? I don't know. But whatever it is, hopefully the coaching staff and the pitchers, they can figure out what they need to do so that they don't fall behind like they did on Friday and like they did on Saturday, where you're playing from behind all of a sudden. Like, hopefully they can get comfortable a little bit quicker, because Fetty and Gibson looked really good the rest of the way. But, playing catch up, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for a team. But let's get to the fun stuff. Let's go to the eighth inning. Let's fast forward. Eighth inning. Cardinals are down 4-1 at this point. And I know we're all kind of like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose this game too. And then things get like really goofy for the Cubs pitching staff and their defense, much to the Cardinals' delight, because the Cardinals, who seem dead and buried at this point, with one out, you got Burleson walks, and then Wilson Contreras gets hit by the pitch, gets hit on the hand. Goldie flies out, but then Brendan Donovan reaches on an infield single over to third base, where Isaac Paredes, who's the guy they traded for, they traded Morel to Tampa Bay to get him, made this great stop. And, in hindsight, you look back at it and you're like, oh, this guy should have just put it in his pocket, right? He should have just ate it. But instead, he's feeling it. He's in front of the home crowd. He wants to make a good impression. He tries to make this fantastic throw, and it does not work. He throws it away. That brings Burleson around a score. The other runners advance to second and third. Then we get to Nolan Arenado again, who it seemed like in every game in the series came up in big spots over and over and over, and he rarely came through. Some ugly at-bats in this series for Arenado. It seems like he's regressing again, which it's tough to watch, man, because this is the guy for years and years and years, watching him in Colorado constantly, that guy that was always coming through in the clutch, driving in runs left and right. And now, like, it's just weird watching him at the plate. And we thought that that's what happened again, that, he had kind of biffed on this moment. He pops it up to short center field, but PCA comes running in from center field, and he calls off Nico Horner at the very last second, and the ball ends up dropping. And because there are two outs, the guys are running, which allows both runners to score. And all of a sudden, we're tied. And it goes down as a 2-run single for Arenado. But obviously, I know, everybody knows that was an inning-ending pop-up for sure. And if you're a Cubs fan, you're vomiting all the draft beer you've been slugging out in the bleachers all day, while Cardinals fans, we got new life. We're feeling pretty good. Then in the ninth inning, you get Tommy Pham, who's just been huge since coming back over from the White Sox, smashes one off the ivy for a triple. Even Ian Happ's magical powers against the Cardinals couldn't reel it in for him. So Pham's on third, nobody out. He scores on Lars Nootbaar's sac fly, gives the Cardinals a lead. Crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff. Ryan Helsley comes on and gets the save on just 9 pitches. Looked much better. Gets his league-leading 34th save of the season, and the Cardinals somehow, some way, they end up winning this one. Thank you very much to the Cubs for handing that one over. So after this gift from Chicago, and you're like, all right, well, if we split the series, maybe, this isn't a complete bust at Wrigley. And then we go to the bright lights of Sunday Night Baseball, where a Balk, out of all things, ends up flipping the game on its head, and it does not go well for the Cardinals. So we'll discuss it next on Locked On Cardinals. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. And it's true. I love sports year-round, all kinds of sports. And when the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to, it can be a little depressing. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I got to do is open up the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. You got NFL preseason getting underway. You had the Hall of Fame game, which got shortened because of the weather that was going on in Canton, Ohio. But interesting. The kickoff rules are kind of wild. But you got those coming up this week. A lot of preseason football. College football is not too far off. Olympics obviously going on. And, of course, baseball galore as the Pennant Chase and the wild card races heat up. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most out of your summer. There's not a whole lot of it left, guys. We are in August. So whether you're going to be on the Cardinals this week and bet on them against the Mets, against the Rays over the next few days, or maybe you're not somebody who's all that happy with the Cardinals and you're going to bet against them because you hate how the franchise is run and you think our manager is a clown, whatever it is that it makes you want to go against them, show everyone you were right and that everybody else is wrong by putting your money where your mouth is. So here's your chance to make some coin off all that. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Ordering supplies from the website that's made for the skilled trades. Find thousands of parts from hundreds of brands in just a couple of clicks at SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com gives you 24/7 access to a huge selection of plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with fast delivery anywhere in the United States. And if you need help with an order, they got you covered, my friend. Get industry-leading after-sales service from their friendly and knowledgeable customer support team where you get to talk to a real person every single time. And there's great news for the plumbers, for technicians, for contractors. Listen up. Being a pro has got its perks. Trade industry professionals, you can join their free TradeMaster program for free shipping and serious discounts on every order. Over 100,000 pros are already trusting the TradeMaster program to deliver results. And you can apply for your membership today and get a competitive edge on every order at SupplyHouse.com/TM. Save money and time when you order online. Order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from SupplyHouse.com. Real people, real service. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume because of all the shouting? Then make the switch to Locked On Sports today, which is a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. We've got the analysis. We've got the opinions. We've got the news. It's streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. You're a team every day. Now, remember, the Cardinals are coming home, so you can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Cardinals. So we're looking back at the series. You'll notice that the Cardinals, they jumped out to a lead in 3 or 4 games in Chicago, which is usually a good thing, right? You want to get out to the lead, and the key really is to hold on to it. And that was the problem in Chicago. And they did it again on Sunday night. Mason Wynn. How good has Mason Wynn been, you guys? Pops his 9th home run of the season into the basket in the 3rd inning off Justin Steele. I don't know where he's ranking right now in the National League Rookie of the Year honors, but he's got to be in the top 3, right? Right? It's got to be. A stat from Sarah Langs that said 9+ home runs and 9+ steals in a season at age 22 or younger for the Cardinals since 1900 includes Mike Donlin in 1900, Stan the Man Musial in 1943, and now Mason Wynn in 2024. That's it. That is the list. Like, he's doing special things. And on top of that, and I don't think he gets enough credit about this, is how the defense has been for Mason Wynn. And things were a little iffy early on. You know, he would make he would boot some simple ground balls, but he's a rookie. You know, he's still getting used to the speed and everything that goes along with the major league level of baseball that he's playing. And he's been outstanding. Wynn's defensive runs saved is now up to 12 on the year, which places him 4th overall in baseball. Behind catcher Patrick Bailey for the Giants, second baseman Bryce Terang for Milwaukee. They both are at 15. And then the leader is Guardian second baseman Andres Jimenez, who has 16. Not too shabby for a rookie, right? So the Cardinals, at this point, they've got the lead. They're up 2-0. They've got the momentum. Things are going well. Miles Mikolas is on the bump. He's looking pretty good through 3 innings. And then in the 4th inning, the Cubs strike with a single by Isaac Paredes. Then they get a double by Mike Tauchman. Now, this annoyed the hell out of me. It's part of the game. I get it. But as a former pitcher, This was annoying. I would rather a dude hit the ball 113 off me for a line shot into the corner than do what Mike Talkman did in that inning, where he hit this little cue shot, flimsy 56.3 mile per hour squibber down the line at third base. And Arenado playing over towards short a little much, couldn't get to it, goes down the line, becomes a double. So annoying. About as lucky as you can get there. And that sets up second and third. You've got one out, I believe, at this time. Dansby Swanson hits a ground ball to short. Runner comes home. Wynn throws out Dansby at second. You got two down. You're hoping like, all right, if we can keep it at 2-1, that's a win, right? That's success. You're good there. And this is when the poop hit the fan, man. With the runner on third, Mikolas, he engages with the pitching rubber. It looked like he was going to, like, basically what it looked like to me was like he was going to go from the windup and then was like, I don't know if I like that. And it was going to step off and was going to go from the stretch. Instead, he kind of kicks the rubber with his toe like he's, clearing it off or something. Like he's trying to make it look like he didn't engage with the rubber. At least that's what it looked like to me. And they caught him. Called a balk on him. Runner from third scores. The telecast even said, they're like, dude, he's not deceiving the runner. He's not trying to do something cheap or illegal here. But technically what he did is not allowed. And so the umpires had to call it. And they weren't even calling it. The hitter at the plate is the one who pointed it out. And then the ump was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And then he ended up making the call. So Ollie comes out. And I thought there was going to be a screaming match. I thought Ollie was going to get hot on this one. But he gets the explanation. And honestly, he didn't get all that worked up about it because he knew Mikolas was technically in the wrong. That he balked. So didn't mean to do it. Wasn't something he was trying to do on purpose. Could have been like a little brain fartage going on there too. But the tying run scores, and we got a brand new ball game. And you can just tell Miles is pissed off, man, because his next pitch comes in at 97 miles per hour. Hardest ball he's throwing all season. Like, he is hot. Gets the guy to get out. And I made the tweet at the time where I was like, all right, this is the point, though, where you just have to move on from this. Like, you can't let this destroy you mentally. And you got to calm down. And you just got to move on and get back into your groove again, because he wasn't pitching all that bad. It's like anything with Mikolas. If he misses his spots over the plate, he's going to get hammered. He doesn't have swing and miss stuff, so we can't do that. So he's got to get back to, hitting the corners and painting the black, and that didn't happen at all, because the next inning, the Cubs come out and just start smashing him. Amaya, there's that guy again. Singles on a slider up in the zone. Nico Horner singles on a fastball away. Michael Busch singles on a fastball, which was right down Broadway. Makes it 3-2. Then Suzuki ends up walking, and a lot of the pitches weren't even close. And now we got bases loaded, nobody out. Mikolas looks cooked. Has to go to the pen. Very unceremonial end to what was not a horrible start for the first three innings. And then, like, I didn't get to hear what he said afterwards, in the clubhouse, but you got to think that Balk just kind of screwed him up. Like, it was just in his head. He's not happy anymore, and it just kind of ruined all the vibes that he had going. So John King has to come in, does the best he can do to kind of clean up this mess. He gets a sac fly from the next hitter, and then induces the double play to end the inning, which kept it 4-2, which props to John King in that moment, because he still had a long way to go in this game, and things could have really gotten out of hand if he hadn't stomped things out. So it's a 4-2 ball game, but it's just another disappointing start for Miles Mikolas. He lashes 4 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Every time, like, he gets his ERA back under 5, which is not good. He has another bad game, and it goes right back up again. He's at 5.12 on the season, which not a lot of bang for your buck when you're paying this guy $17.6 million this year and next year. And his numbers aren't getting any better. Like, he got clobbered a lot last year. He's getting clobbered a lot again this year. Every once in a while, you'll see this great game, and you're like, there he is. That's the guy. And then he has one of these kind of games. So not great. The Cardinals offense also didn't do him any favors in this one. They go silent after the win home run, had just one hit after that. The one time they did get men on base, thanks to an error and a walk, Lars Nootbaar came up and struck out on 3 straight pitches. Just unbelievably unproductive at bat. It was bad. And then Pedro Pajes flies out to end the inning. The Cardinals go 3 for 25 with runners in scoring position in this series and just got abused in this one by Mike Tauchman and Miguel Amaya. That's who clobbered them on Sunday Night Baseball. They go 4 for 8 with 2 home runs and 4 runs scored. Cardinals lose 6-2. Just brutal, just ugly. And it was like nothing. There's no energy. Nothing was going their way after the Mason Wynn home run. It just looked bleh. It was just gross. And on top of all of this, after losing 3 of 4 in Chicago and getting kind of embarrassed on Sunday Night Baseball, they got some crap news about starting center fielder Michael Siani before the game even started. So we're going to discuss that next and talk about Monday's makeup game. That's coming up on Locked On Cardinals. Not sure if you're aware of this, but it does get hot and humid in St. Louis during the summer. And, you know how it is. You get out of the shower, you get dressed, and you're like, all right, I got to get to the car where the air conditioning is on right away, or I'm going to start sweating again as soon as you hit the door, because that's how thick it is in St. Louis and pretty much anywhere in the Midwest, to be honest with you. So it's important to stay hydrated, right? That's the important thing, so you can enjoy your outdoor activities, like going to Cardinals baseball games. Maybe you're going to the Mets game on Monday, even more. And that's where the Liquid IV comes into play, guys. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, Liquid IV. It's more than just a drink. I'm telling you, it's science-backed whey hydration that's better than you've ever had before. And it's delicious. They offer so many delicious flavors. Tangerine, white peach, one of my favorites, rainbow sherbet, cotton candy. They've got the popsicle firecracker, which is a festive blend of like citrus-fueled lemon lime. You get the tart cherry, raspberry flavors all combined into one. And you can find all of them on their website, liquidiv.com. Tons to choose from. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water. Hydrates better than just water alone. With 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink and 8 essential vitamins and nutrients. No more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. For your second listen, enjoy the Locked On MLB podcast with Sully, my man Sully, there to do every day. Every day, Sully is with you to provide national expertise with his trademark humor to help you get ready for the MLB playoffs here in the dog days of summer. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So, like I mentioned, as if losing 3 of 4 to the Cubs at Wrigley wasn't enough, the team got more bad news about center fielder Michael Siani. My man crushed this year. I did not buy a Cardinals Michael Siani jersey this year. This is not my fault. My mother tried to buy me one for my birthday, and I couldn't agree on it. And I kind of don't want one yet because I want to wait till they update the uniforms again so they don't look all weird like they do this year. Like, you know what I'm talking about. But so it's not my fault this time. But Siani had to leave Saturday's game after he felt pain in the midsection area after he fouled off a pitch during his second at bat in the 5th inning. Ended up staying in the game, comes up again in the 7th inning, strikes out, and then leaves the game for good before the bottom of the 8th inning. Then on Sunday, they end up placing him on the injured list with a right oblique strain. We know how tricky those can be. And during the broadcast tonight, they said that Siani is likely going to miss 3 to 4 weeks of time because those obliques, they just don't heal quick. And they're so tricky. Like, you might feel good and then you make one quick movement, and then boom, it's down again, and you got to be really, really careful with it. So a huge bummer and a huge blow for Siani in the team, because this was his job, right? No Dylan Carlson, no Tommy Edman. This is yours, man. You've won it, and now he's out. So not what you want to hear about your Gold Glove caliber center fielder, who was also finally putting together some solid offensive numbers to go along with the defense. He was really finding his place on this team, and now he's gone. In his place, though, a familiar name, a familiar face, a friend of the show, Victor Scott II has been called up to the team. Struggled mightily at the beginning of the year. If you remember, he was 5 for 59 for an 85 batting average, had 3 doubles, had 2 stolen bases, was very, very good in the field, though. Had that one play in like a rainy game at Busch Stadium, but other than that, was pretty darn awesome in center field in those 20 games that he played before they sent him down to Memphis. Remember, he wasn't really supposed to be on the team. He was making the huge leap straight from Double-A instead of going to Triple-A, and they had a feeling that it was going to be a difficult transition for him, and it was. So they sent him back down. His struggles continued down at Triple-A Memphis, but since July 25th, things have been going much, much better for Victor Scott, hitting 370 with 3 home runs, one of those a grand slam. He's got 10 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. John Denton reported that his recent surge has come after roving instructor and former all-star outfielder Ryan Ludwig, who, by the way, is very, very good on MLB The Show, suggested a more athletic swing that includes a leg kick to generate more momentum. So that's a good thing. Apparently that has worked so far. I don't know if he's been talking to Jordan Walker too, because Jordan Walker all of a sudden scalding hot at the plate as well at Memphis. Maybe he's somebody that gets called up at some point. But overall, Victor Scott's numbers, they're not going to impress you that much. He's hitting 219, 29 stolen bases, a far cry from what he did last year when he hit 303 with 94 stolen bases overall. But he's not coming up to just ride the bench either. Katie Wu reports that he will play a decent amount of time in center, with Lars Nootbaar also slotting in. You saw Lars in center on Sunday night. Ali also told Tommy Pham to stay ready for all 3 outfield spots. So it's the Cardinal way, man. As soon as you trade away depth from a certain area, that's when you get hammered, right? So you do have Newt. You do have Pham that can play center field, Donnie in left. You've also got Burley in right. So you've got enough bodies, capable bodies to man it. But, Siani was such a difference maker in center field. Like, watching him go after fly balls and then watching anybody else is like night and day. Although Victor Scott, like I said, is pretty good out there in center field. Definitely has the wheels. Actually has better wheels than Michael Siani. So we'll see how they go about it. But he's hot right now. Cardinals could use some offense. So maybe Victor he's left-handed, and Sean Manaea is going to be starting on Monday. So probably not going to be in the lineup on Monday. But if there was ever a time, I'll tell you this much, if there was ever a time for Lars Nootbaar to finally live up to the hype that has surrounded him since the World Baseball Classic, it's now. Now is your time, Lars Nootbaar. Like, let's see what you got. I know the injuries have been an issue, but this is feeling very Dylan Carlson-like, with the injuries and the lack of production and the lack of coming through in the clutch. And that is not something I'm okay with. By the way, DC 2 for 8 with a home run and 2 ribbies since getting traded, in case you were wondering. So nothing all that special, but he did hit a home run. And they will get to see him when the Rays are in town this week. Cardinals do face the Mets at Busch on Monday. They were on a tear for a bit, but 5-5 over their last 10. The game is a makeup game for the rainout that happened on May the 8th. Cardinals are just 7-9 since the All-Star break, but they're 5.5 back in Milwaukee. And that's the problem, is that at this time, Milwaukee is not playing the way they've been playing all year. This would have been a great time to make up some ground against the Brewers, and the Cardinals screwed it up. So they're still 5.5 back there. They're 3 back in the wild card. There is still well over a month and a half of baseball to play. So it's not like it's all over with. Like, despite what you will see online, the season does not end this week. So they got to get things going, though, right? Like, there's no time to just waste here and continue to just meddle around the 500 mark. You got to get hot again, and you got to start picking up some ground if you want to remain in the playoff hunt. Andre Palante, your scheduled starter against the Mets, Sean Manaea, who I mentioned, he did beat the Cardinals back on May 6th in St. Louis. All right, thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on Twitter, X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Like, subscribe, YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. Appreciate your patience getting you all this information. We're back on schedule. We're back at it. Mets and Cardinals, Monday night. I'll talk to you on Twitter then. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason, and I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.